Representative Ward, thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
In District 53A, you represent parts of Maplewood, Woodbury, Oakdale, and a very small area that we talked a little bit about before this, Landfall City.
Yes.
Population only 686. It's at a crossroads a little bit in your district too. Can you tell us about Landfall City?
It is a very close-knit community, and people take a lot of pride in their neighborhood, and the schools are really active there. It's really like any other community where people live close to each other and pay attention to each other and are very civically engaged.
And how about some of the more well-known cities you represent? What are the people like in your district, and what issues would they like to see addressed in 2018?
I mean, they all started, Oakdale, Maplewood, and Woodbury all started with different communities and fairly far apart, really, geographically in the center, but then they've all grown, so they almost merge. And they're very collaborative now. The priorities are always the same for everybody: education, public safety, roads and bridges, you know, the really common things that people share and want to be supported.
And heading into the 2017 session, you remarked on your campaign page that the last 4 years at the House have been challenging, satisfying, frustrating, and fascinating. So why did you feel that way, and what's your level of optimism for 2018?
Level of optimism, let's start with that. Okay. I've been doing work on civil discourse and developing a bipartisan bicameral caucus, and we are working together. There's a fair-sized group of people who volunteered to be part of this conversation, and we're planning some activities, some professional development pieces, as well as some social events and opportunities for people to do a little more mingling and getting to know each other in neutral territory, so that we can actually get more done for the citizens of Minnesota. So that's where my optimism is. Concerns are, you know, the dissension and the opposite of that. So how do we get good work done on public safety and education, and goodness knows we've got the bonding bill coming up, and you know, how do we resolve those things? So part of what we're looking at for some of those professional development opportunities are negotiations and communications and relationships, so that we actually get something done.
Yeah, and on your campaign page that you had a subhead that was titled "The Antidote to Gridlock was Restorative Justice and Civil Discourse," and that's the antidote, you think, to get people
Absolutely.
to work here together at the Capitol?
Absolutely. Restorative justice is really kind of the foundation for me. It's generally applied a little bit differently. It's about getting people together to have conversations about experiences and sharing their background and sharing their stories and coming to some resolution to solve a particular problem. And civil discourse is something that I connected with in 2013, the first summer after my first session. And it is a growing organization that's housed at the University of Arizona. Gabby Giffords is essentially, she's a board member and kind of a founding member of that. It was started in honor of her when she was still recovering. And part of her work on the national level when she was in Congress was civil discourse and getting people to work together. So the University of Arizona picked that up in honor of her, and it is now a nationwide program, working also with a program called Next Generation, and it's about the next generation of legislators working together that comes out of Ohio. And I'm working with both of those as a combined group, so that I will be going, I have, and I will continue to go to other states to do workshops with legislators to get them to work together.
And you're a former teacher.
Yes.
What is your opinion of Minnesota's current state of education?
It's good in many ways. It's challenged in many ways. We are not meeting those challenges as well as we might. And, you know, funding is something that is, people say, oh, just to keep throwing more money at it. Well, I was hearing the commissioner of corrections on the radio this morning, And they were saying, well, you know, prison populations keep growing. Well, the general population keeps growing, and with more people, maybe crime is even better than what it was in terms of percentages, but you still have more people involved in crime. We still have more kids involved in school. So there are a lot of communities that are growing, and Woodbury is one of them that will continue to grow. We've got land, a significant portion of the land in Woodbury is undeveloped and ripe for development. So we will continue building schools and needing to do that. St. Paul is looking at building schools, or at least expanding in some way so that they can house their students. Population is growing, and so we need more money. You know, you have more students, you need more money. And it isn't that we're enriching those school districts at all. They're generally running on very, very tight budgets. And both the school districts that I represent, 622 and 833, have statistically validated lower administration costs than other districts of similar sizes. And so fewer people, not paying them as much, teachers are not paid as well, and so there are good things about education, but we still have a lot of work to do. And I particularly am interested in early childhood and parent education, so that we do the ECFE that everybody thinks is there and is generally not as available and accessible as it was even 15, 20 years ago.
And I just want to finish with this. In your About JoAnn section of your campaign page, you say that family is your highest priority. How does that influence the way you approach your position at the House?
Well, I learn a lot from my family. Their perspectives and interests, they're all very techy, and are generally early adopters, so they're up on stuff. My daughter is an artist, as a theater director. My older son is software engineer in medical products, medical technology stuff. And my younger son is an ER doctor. So I've got arts and technology and healthcare pretty well covered.
Yeah, that's kind of a wide range.
It is, but they all also complement each other really well. And I have 6 grandchildren, and we'll have another one soon. And I want the world to be a good, safe place for them. So I have serious concerns about the environment, and Woodbury and Oakdale particularly are impacted by the 3M issues with water. And so water is important for all of us for life. And the environment has always been a high priority for me. So, you know, all of those things, just wanting the world to be a better place, not only for my family, but for everybody.